Welcome back to the Own It Masterclass. We do this once a quarter just for you so you can own your mind and live life by design. And this new and updated masterclass I've done specifically for you. So if you're familiar with Business Bliss, it's where I used to teach the 5 keys to goal achievement and manifesting. We've actually decided to bring that into this masterclass as well. So not only are we going to be teaching you how to rewire your brain for success, own your mind, but so you can live life by design and build a winning self-image so you can stop being your own glass ceiling and upper limit. We're also going to teach you the 5 steps to manifesting and goal achievement. Because the truth is, we're all actually manifesting at all times. It's just, are we doing it consciously or unconsciously? And if you want to know what you've been manifesting, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, 98% of the time, are the same and habitually getting you more of the same. So pause and just take a moment and look at your current results and think about them in every area of your life. Now, there's no make wrong. Nothing's good or bad or right or wrong except for what you make it. And I just want you to observe where there are things that you would prefer. So if there's room for improvement, all it's telling you is where your thoughts and your feelings and actions have been previously, they've gotten you these current results. And so in order to get new results, we actually have to change. And people don't resist change, they resist being changed. So you have to first have the awareness that there is something you want to change. If you do, amazing. You're in the first step of transformation. The next step is to make the changes that are required to get you to the other side. And we'll talk about this later in the workbook, but I just want to mention it now. They call it the putrefaction process or the transformation process or the change process. And basically it means the current version of you needs to break down and die. And a current and better version of you needs to be built up. The current version of you is amazing. Give yourself a pat on the back. It's got you here so far, right? Yes, absolutely. Pat on the back. We've done so good. And this current version of us can't get us to where we want to go. So it's a consistent effort to constantly change. And nature abhors a vacuum. So what we need to do is start removing the things, the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, and the habits that no longer serve us and fill them with ones that do. And what happens is most people try to simply get rid of the old habits and they end up filling them up with more bad habits that get them more of the same. And so what we want to do throughout this masterclass is really become, one, aware of what is the change process, transformation, and how do you get new results? How do you become that version of you on your vision board with all your dreams and your desires achieved? We also want to give you the awareness of how the brain works, how the mind works, how human conditioning and performance works, how and why you are the way you are, and how to change it so you can get to where you want to be. And we're also going to go through the 5 keys of manifesting and goal achievement. So they are, number 1 is ideas. So if your current thinking only gets you more of the same, in order to change your thinking, you must generate new ideas. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to create a new awareness around what is the transformation process. We're going to make a decision and decide what it is that we truly want that's going to make the biggest change for us in our quality of life. And then we're going to take that idea and tomorrow we're going to start working on it. And first, what you need to do is actually get clear what has you stuck and getting you more of the same. So we're going to learn how to rewire and reframe the brain for success and own our thoughts. Because as soon as you decide on a goal, your unconscious mind's job is to keep you safe in the same. So you will begin to unconsciously self-sabotage and have behaviors that get you more of the same. And we'll talk about that. That's what cybernetics is. And we'll talk about that later. So what we need to do is own our thoughts. So we'll talk all about why and how, and we'll do that tomorrow. On Wednesday, we're building a new winning self-image. We're going to put the third key into place. So the first is ideas, the second is thoughts. So tomorrow we'll own our thoughts. And on Wednesday, we're going to put our plan into place. So it's ideas, thought, then plan. So your ideas and your thought are in the ether. They're still up here in the nowhereness. And what we need to do is pull them out of the ether and put them onto paper and make a plan. And the first plan you need to do is decide who you're going to be, because we attract the people, places, circumstances, and opportunities that are in alignment with who we're being. So our first plan we're going to work on together is building a new winning self-image. On Thursday, we have an open house mastermind session. This is going to be the fourth stage of manifesting. It's action. So you made a plan. And what I see so many people do is they get stuck in planning. They've been planning for years. They have so many ideas and they have so many thoughts, but most of the time their thoughts are how hard it's going to be, how it's not going to work. And then so they put a plan into place, yet they never take action because there's fear, worry, and doubt. And what we need to do is practice being in a state of possibility. So we're going to mastermind on Thursday. It's a bonus open house mastermind. That means we're inviting you to mastermind with ourselves and our clients, yet it's closed door, which means it's not casted and it's not recorded. So you want to come and join us inside the Zoom room on Thursday because we're going to mastermind all together. So you get to bring whatever you need support on, and then you're going to leave with an action that you're going to commit and take with a date and a plan. On Friday, we have a bonus heart-led sales session. This is one of my favorite things to teach. We're actually going to sell you on your own dreams. So one of my favorite sayings is, whatever the mind of the man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So I ask you, do you believe in your dreams and that they're possible for you? Or is there still something that's saying inside you, that's too hard, that's impossible, it's not for me, other people can do it, but not me. And all these limiting thoughts that are coming up, we're going to rewire them and reframe them tomorrow. Yet, when we go and to take action, there's often the missing the belief in yourself and believing in what's possible. So on Friday, not only are we going to teach you the art of sales, we're going to sell you on your own dream. So come back on Friday for the bonus session on heart-led sales. We have Saturday off so that people can binge watch the replays if required. Yes, the fifth step is believe. So you have to believe it's possible. Otherwise, it doesn't happen, because then you have conflicting beliefs. Part of you says you can do it, and part of you says it can't. And that creates incoherence between your head and your heart. So we have an electromagnetic frequency. So our heart is electric, and it's sending out impulses, and so are our thoughts. Every thought from 17 to 70 seconds creates a thought impulse. So if you, in your heart of hearts, you truly desire this and you know you want it and you can have it, yet your beliefs are saying that's impossible, that's too hard. These are conflicting. And then that you do not have coherence. And one of the things that stops most people from getting what they want is the confusion within the mind. So like one minute you're like, I'm owning it. And then the next minute you're like, I'm just going to go hide. And then the next minute you're like, I'm owning it. And then I'm going to go hide. So it's actually an all-day adventure once you decide to own your goals. You actually have to own your mind. And so this whole masterclass is to help you do that. So the 5 keys to manifesting and goal achievement are ideas. You have to generate new ideas to start having new thoughts. Hey, what if you decide that this quarter you're going to earn your largest amount of money and largest grossing profitable month yet? That's a new idea. I bet you would have new thoughts. Oh, I could do this. I could go here. I could go on vacation. I could take my family here. These are going to be new thoughts that you wouldn't have had without that new idea. And these new thoughts start to trigger a new plan. And then we take new actions with new energy. And then we build the belief and we take the action with the belief that it's going to happen. And we'll dive deeper into all of this week. I'm just giving you the Coles Notes version. So it's going to answer some questions here. I love it. So you think you've gotten better with your belief in your dream? Yeah, and that's okay. You don't have to necessarily believe in the plan because the plan can change. And most likely, we have a saying in the community that, the plan is to get you out the gate, and most likely the plan goes to shit because that's often how it goes. And so you have an idea, you own your thoughts, you have a plan, you get into action, it gets you out the gate. The action starts showing the universe to say, hey, she needs the right people, places, and circumstances that are in alignment with who she's being and what she's doing, and let's give that to her. Yet sometimes the belief in the plan is a little wobbly, and that's okay because the plan is often going to change as we go along, and that's where the flexibility is required in being an entrepreneur. Because if we go out the gate and we have our blinders on and we're like, it has to look like this, and yet another opportunity came in that was maybe even better, that was more quantum leap, that got you a larger result with less time and less effort, but you're like, nope, can't do that because my plan's over here. So we want to be flexible with the plan and be open to the other opportunities that can come our way. So love that. How are thought stage different from the belief stage? So your thoughts mean to own your thoughts. So watch this. Don't think of a blue tree. Did everyone just think of a blue tree? Right? I dare you. Don't think of an orange. Everyone will start to think of an orange. So our thoughts are going on all the time. 98% are habitually unconscious. That means you're on autopilot based on the belief system that you were given via the model of the world you grew up in. And we'll talk about a bit more of this week. And of course, you can study with us inside our programs where we dive much deeper into the science behind transformation and neurolinguistics programming, aka some brain science and the study of excellence. So your thoughts, there's always the two sides of the coin. There's the positive and the negative. And so what we need to start doing is practice being the observer. Okay, so listen, listen, listen. Thoughts are always going to be there. And you get to be the observer. And you get to decide what thoughts you're going to get involved with. Now, do we want to get involved with the ones that don't make us feel good and the stories of the fear, worry, and doubt? Absolutely not. Okay, so we need to switch to the positive side of the coin and get into a state of possibility. And so if 98% of your thoughts are habitually unconscious, that means we have to actually start changing the thinking. And that means we have to be aware of what is the thinking that's happening all the time. So that means you have to be present in the moment to feel, am I feeling good? Good. I must be having good thoughts. I'm not feeling so good. That means I'm thinking thoughts that are not making me feel good. So the thoughts is all about choosing what thoughts you're going to entertain, because your thoughts are creating your feelings, and that's the energy you're going to take the action in. And that's going to either help or hinder your results. Now, the believing is you have to believe in you, and you have to decide, and you have to believe it's possible. You can own your thoughts all day long. Yet, if something in the back of your mind is still saying that's impossible, that's too hard for you, and you can't believe in that outcome, you won't be able to see the picture on your mind. You won't take the actions in inspired action. You'll take it begrudgingly, right? Does everyone know what I'm talking about? You go to do the thing you know you need to do because you said you were going to do it. And instead of doing it in a state of possibility and excitement, enthusiasm, and belief, we do it begrudgingly because it's on the checklist. So whatever you can conceive, those are your thoughts. And then you have to believe it. So Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind of the man can conceive and then believe, it can achieve. Okay, so those are the 5 steps of manifesting and goal achievement. And we're going to dive into that deeper this week. Okay, and then on Sunday the 14th, just a reminder, it is a Cole's Notes bonus recap. So we will do a high-level recap of all of this, and I highly recommend that you come back for the recap, because You get so much more often the second or the third time you hear something. You get it from a different level of awareness. You're often like, hey, I never even heard that before because I had said something and then you went off on a thought tangent and you were over here in your mind, yet I was still talking. So what we want to do is make sure that you come back to that recap because it all starts to really come together when we go through that recap. Okay, so let's dive into our workbook. So for everyone who is live here with us in the Zoom room, you've got the workbook in the chat. And if you're live with us on Facebook, you're going to want to make sure you go to ownitempire.com/own it to get yourself registered to get access to join us in the Zoom room, the prizes, the giveaways, the replays, the workbook, and so much more. So actually, before we dive into the workbook, just a little housekeeping. We do have a giveaway Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. So tomorrow I'm giving away a 30-minute business review call with me. On Wednesday, I'll be giving away a 45-minute business review call. And on Friday, we will have a bundle. So you will get a 45-minute business review call with a 30-minute accountability follow-up call to make sure that you take the action on what we decided. So these are my gifts to you to thank you for registering, participating, inviting, referring, and sharing on your socials. So we're tracking every time you share, every time you invite, and you'll go into the draw, and we'll draw these later this week. Now, I don't do business review coaching anymore, only with my mastery mentorship clients, which means they're also doing a full NLP and timeline therapy breakthrough with me. So this is one of the only ways you can access these one-off business review coaching calls with me. And they're absolutely priceless because we're going to go from top down. We're going to start with the ideas, and then we're going to reverse engineer it into an action that you can take that's going to help you breed the largest results with the least amount of time and the least amount of effort, what we call the quantum leap method. Okay, so you definitely want to, not only for yourself so that you can earn those prizes, let's share this information. This is not taught in school. I've spent almost 2 decades and almost $200,000 to acquire the specialized knowledge so that I could live my life by design. Why? Because I literally couldn't work harder. I used to work 7 days a week, 18-hour days. I had 3 businesses, 3 contracts. I was volunteering. I was recovering from my 6th concussion in 2 years. My life literally was so full. I was so burnt out and overwhelmed, and I had no more time to trade for money. So I couldn't increase my revenue. And in fact, I had to start decreasing the clients I could work with because I was getting so burnt out. Then I learned all this information, started implementing it, and my life is completely different and unrecognizable. First of all, I have so much more peace of mind. And I'm going to pause there because I think we don't count how important that is. It's the peace of mind, it's the faith, it's the trust, it's the opportunity that I get to get up and do what I want, when I want, how I want, where I want, with whom I want. I can now run my business globally anywhere in the world as long as I have a phone, computer, and internet connection. I have multiple streams of income. I have multiple offers and different ways that I can work one-to-one and one-to-many, because before, my income and my impact were capped. And now I get to have a global influence, and I'm so grateful for it. And it's so much better now, and I'm even more excited for what's coming next. And everything I'm going to teach you this week has helped me get here, and it's going to take me to the next step, because the process is the same every time. You get a goal, then you use the same process to get the next goal. It doesn't change. Bob was 86, Bob Proctor, one of my mentors, and I asked him, like, how do you make this transformation process easier? Like, is there some kind of magic secret? And he's like, no, it's the same every time. I'm going through it myself. He was 86. And so we had a good laugh, and we decided that the most important thing was just to start getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Hello, let me hear it. I want everyone to put that in the chat. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable, because guess what? Where you are right now, it's your comfort zone, and that's amazing. It probably wasn't your comfort zone 6 months ago, a year ago, and it's starting to become your comfort zone, and there's no more growth for you there. You can only get more of the same. So we have to step outside the comfort zone. We have to start living outside there and start being comfortable being uncomfortable. Has anyone ever been on a roller coaster before? Yes, you're enjoying being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Yeah, that's why I see everyone's been on a roller coaster. Okay, here in Canada, we have Canada's Wonderland, and it is wild. And I've been told you've heard me swear all the way across the park when I went on Top Gun. So I want you to think about it. Top Gun, your feet hang, you're hanging on like literally the edge of the park. It's so high, and then you pause. And you know those butterflies in your stomach, right? Before you drop, and as you're dropping, that's the excitement and enthusiasm we want to feel on a daily basis. So instead of calling it fear or worry or doubt, we're going to flip the coin and we're going to get comfortable being uncomfortable. We're on our own roller coaster of life. Like, what if something happened today that could change the rest of your life? What if? Yet most of the time we wake up and we're not in possibility and we're in fear, worry, and doubt. So this whole week, your number one job is to be in a state of possibility, to expect magic and miracles. And we like to say just for today, because tomorrow you get to start all over again and it's a brand new day. And just for today, I want you just to expect everything to work out. So what if everything did work out? What would be the best that could happen? And I want you to start to feel that excitement and that enthusiasm inside of you, that liveliness, and start to really bring that into everything that you do. So welcome to living outside your comfort zone, where your best life is waiting for you. Okay, so now let's dive into the workbook. This is a tool, a workbook that you can use over and over again that's going to help you own it in life and business. So we've got the schedule there for you. There's a clickable calendar link so you can add to your calendar. And then I'd like you to set your intentions. So what are 3 things that you would like to gain from this workshop? So imagine it's Monday next week. So it's the 15th. What would you like to gain or achieve or have accomplished or manifested in this next week? Is it new clients? Is it new PR opportunities? Is it a new car? Is it a vacation? Is it time off? Is it the love of your life? Is it launching a new product? What is it? And remember, the only thing we're allowed to do throughout this entire masterclass is be in a state of possibility. So as you go to write this, it's just like I waved a magic wand and said you could be, do, or have whatever you want. And you get to write it down. So perhaps you'd like to increase your awareness so you could get new results. That could be an intention. Be able to apply the things that you're learning so that you can get new results quicker and easier. And then perhaps there's a specific thing that you would like to achieve within this next week. Intentions are like putting your order into the universe, okay? Because that's your thoughts. That's an energetic signal. And that goes along with the observer effect or the law of observation. And that gets us into quantum physics, and we'll talk about that later. And first, all I want you to do is set your intentions. Then you're going to write 3 things you're grateful for. So why are we kicking off with this? Because in NLP, we like to say you're either on your hero's journey or you're stuck in your victim story. Now, I know some people don't like to hear that because it means you'd have to own it and take responsibility for your current results and know that they are just the way they are because your thoughts, feelings, actions have been in alignment with them previously. There is no make wrong. It just is what it is. Nothing's good or bad or right or wrong except for what you make it. And so we cannot be in a state of gratitude and manifesting what we want and be complaining in blame, shame, fear, worry, and doubt at the same time. We can only hold one energy. And so for this week, I want you to hold the energy of possibility and gratitude, Because when you're grateful, you attract more to be grateful for. Let me say that again. When you are in the energy of gratitude, you will attract more to be grateful for. And so, what's the opposite of that? Guess what? When we're complaining, we will attract more to complain about. And so we actually write 10 things we're grateful for and why every single day in our community. And that's how we kick off our day. And then at the end of the day, we harvest the good. We go through our day and we look out and actually picked out what was the best that can happen. Because that's how we start our day. We ask, hey, universe, what's the best that could happen? Show me now. And then at the end of the day, we actually go through and look at what was the best thing that happened. And so that we're constantly in a state of gratitude. And so I just wanted to bring you guys into an energy of possibility and into gratitude. So we got our intentions and then we've got our gratitude. And now let's dive into doing some work. So one of the biggest things that stops people from getting what they want is they don't know what it is. And I just have to tell you, this is going to evolve and grow with you. And you want to get in the habit of building the plane in the air and getting into action and figuring out what's working and what's not working and continually pivoting. Yet most people will never make the decision and actually start getting into action. And so before we even get into action, we want to start dreaming. So I want to ask you a few questions, and I want you to actually answer them fully authentically for yourself. So what do you love and what fills your soul? Really think about this. If you could do one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be that would leave you happy and fulfilled? And so often some people don't know how to figure that out. Well, ask yourself, what do people tell you you're good at? What do people constantly compliment you about? It's often telling you what is your mountain that you came to climb, your gift that you came to share. You have to decide what it is. So I want you to dream really big now and just think, if anything was possible, what would that be? So what is that legacy that you want to leave? What's your vision for your life? So we ask, what fills your soul and what do you love? And then if you could do that for the rest of your life, the next question is, what is that legacy that you would leave? So I'm so happy and grateful now that I've built an empire that provides a financial wall of freedom around myself and my family for centuries and generations to come. And we leave a positive impact and a legacy of love, and we teach others how to do the same. And there's peace in heaven on earth for the highest good of all. That's my legacy. That's what I've decided. I get to leave people with an impression of increase and make the world a happier and more joyful and more conscious place. This is what I get to do. So what's that legacy that you want to leave? In my third year at university in my positive psychology class, we wrote our own eulogy. We literally had to write the legacy that we left. And it was one of the most life-changing exercises I've ever done. So just think right now, cast yourself to the end. You're at your celebration of life. What do you want to be remembered for? What's the impact you want to leave? Guess what? You can accumulate all the things you want. And I love luxury. I'm a glamper. I'm not really a camper, okay? Yet you can't take those things with you. So what's the impact that you're going to leave? What's the legacy that you're going to leave? How are you going to share your gifts with this world so that you can help the ascension and the evolution of humanity with your gifts that only you can do, that there are only people out there who will be in alignment with you? And if you don't step out there and shine brightly, those other people are not going to either. So they're literally waiting for you to be brave enough to go out there and do what scares you and do it anyways, because you know that it's worth it on the other side. So what is that legacy that you are going to leave? Now we're going to do a little exercise. This is one of my favorite to do. Okay. So we're going to make a universal shopping list. So this is your idea dumping. So Napoleon Hill would take 45 minutes every single day to generate new ideas. And he would say, one of them will be your $1 billion idea. And so I just want us to get into that state of possibility. And we're going to generate new ideas. So imagine I waved a wand and said you could be, do, and have whatever you want right now. What does that look like? And your immediate unconscious thought is going to be, how are you going to do that? We're not going to worry about the how right now, okay? I just want you to write down what you want. Bob Proctor would say, what do you really, really want? Not what you think you're supposed to want, not what you think you should want, what you've been conditioned to want, what you really, really want, what will fill your soul and leave you happy and fulfilled. So I waved a magic wand. You won 30 million in the Lotto Max. What are you going to buy? What are you going to do? Who are you going to be? What are you going to have? Anything is possible. Write it all down. And I want you to keep this piece of paper, okay? And I want you to keep adding to it. And if you do really well, it takes about 72 hours to change your energy, okay? And if you can hold that state of possibility and gratitude and focus on what it would be like to have these desires, they will literally start coming to you. Okay, so take a moment and have some fun and start jotting down some ideas. Whatever you want. So step one to manifesting and goal achievement is new ideas. So guess what? We're halfway through the year. Can you believe that? We're literally already halfway through the year. So we're here now in Q3 and we're going into Q4. And they say what you do now in your business and your habits, the results will show up 90 days from now. So you want to get healthy. Most people go to the gym 5 times. They go, I'm not seeing a result, and they stop going. It takes consistency and persistence. So what you're going to do now in this quarter, you're really going to reap the rewards next quarter. So if you want to finish this year strong, this is the quarter to own it. There's no more playing 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's all in. You're betting on yourself and you're believing in yourself. So what new ideas are you generating for the rest of this year and this quarter? Just a reminder, we did have a bonus, pre-bonus session. So that was bonus session 1 on Friday last week. 3 actions to level up your business. We talked about owning your brand awareness, owning your sales database, and owning your quantum leap action. So if you haven't watched that one, that's to help set you up for Q3 to own it in your business. The replay was emailed out, and when we emailed this replay out today, you'll have them both together, so you can, if you missed that one, you can watch it and then watch this. Okay, so you have all these new ideas, you're generating them. Amazing. Let's make a decision. Okay, what is it that we truly want? So what is the one thing of all those things you just wrote down? What's the one thing you want the most right now? And I want to ask you, not just anything, the thing that's going to make the biggest difference for you. One of those things on the list would have a really big impact on the quality of your life. Which one of them is it? Perhaps this will be your quarterly goal or your annual goal or your goal for this month. I just want you to decide on one thing that you want the most, that's the most important to you. Okay, write it down. Now we're going to do a little bit of exercises to help you create the state of the goal achieved. So the goal is one thing, and then the state of the goal is another thing. Okay, so the state is the feeling. The feeling is the secret. That is an incredible book. So you decided on the goal that you want, and now we need to start feeling and acting as if we already have it. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to write them down. So why do you want this? And what would it look and feel like to have it? So if you're just joining us in the Zoom room, I'm going to drop the workbook here to make sure that you have it. And we are just working on ideas, generating new ideas that are going to change the quality of our life. And then we picked one of those ideas that we're going to work through some questions on to help create the state of the goal achieved. So the why is so important. The why is going to help you divorce your excuses, reasons, and alibis. And instead, you're going to marry your why. Because guess what? Life happens. There will be opportunities that come your way to challenge you. You will have a solution-oriented mindset, as all successful people do. So instead of seeing it as a problem, you see it as an opportunity to grow, and you focus on the solutions. And we are results-oriented. Okay. And the why is going to have you go through these obstacles. So why do you really want this? Why is it going to make an impact on your life? And then what would it look like, feel like? What would you hear, feel, sense, touch? What's going to be different when you have this? And I want everyone to put that in the chat. What's one thing that would be different when you have this goal? So maybe it's a revenue goal, maybe it's a new team, maybe it's a health goal, maybe it's a relationship goal. What's one thing that would be different? And then I want to ask, what is it going to allow for you? Because the truth is, it's not actually the goal that we really want, it's what the goal allows, right? I mean, the money's great. We don't want the money so we can sleep with it and cuddle it at night. We want it to do stuff for us. So what does the money allow for you? What does that healthy relationship allow for you? What does the 100 new clients allow for you? And this is going to help you get into the feeling of the goal achieved. So I want you to write that down and drop something in the chat and let us know. Awesome. I love that. Barb says freedom of choices. That's what getting her goal allows. So what about for you guys? What does getting your goal allow for you, and what would be different? And what does it look like and feel like to have it? And this is the feeling I want you to go deeper in. So Barb, what does freedom of choices allow for you? So go even a little bit deeper, then what does that allow for you? So freedom of choices, perhaps that allows you to do what you want, when you want, how you want, with whom you want, wherever you want. That's amazing. And what does that allow? That actually allows me to live my life on my own terms instead of somebody else's. Well, what does that allow? Well, that allows me to be happy and fulfilled and die without regrets and actually live my life joyfully, instead of feeling like my cup is half empty and there's so much more that I could do and be and have, and yet I don't because of lack of choices. Okay, so go as deep as you want. Keep asking yourself, so what does that allow? What does that allow? And maybe you marry your why and what you want so much that it starts to fill your heart and you get a little tear in your eye. I want you to really get emotionally connected to the impact of having what you want. It will allow me to live life fulfilled, an impactful life filled with joy, success, freedom, and gratitude. I love that. Very nice. Beautiful, Shabnam. All right. So this is now just, we went through ideas. Okay, then we decided on one to be a goal, and we started to create the state of the goal. And so your job this whole week is to take that feeling of the goal achieved with you all week long. So you're going to think about that, and then a limiting thought's going to come up and be like, can't have that. And I need you to smash it and get back into the state of possibility. And I want you to think about all that when you have it, what it allows and how's that feel. Now, as a gift for me, everybody got a 15-minute vision casting call. So if you haven't booked that and completed that with me yet, I'd love to do that with you. Even if you've done it in a previous masterclass, I'd still love to do it again because I know you're evolving and so are your dreams and your goals. And so we're going to talk about what it is that you truly desire. We're going to get into the state of the goal achieved with some other NLP questions. And then I'm actually going to guide you through a guided visualization. So that link is emailed out. It will be emailed out again with the replay, and I will also drop it in the chat. And I just want to remind everybody that if you haven't booked that yet, it is going to change your life, because guess what? Our mind thinks in pictures and it comes to pass. Environment is but our looking glass. So if our mind thinks in pictures and it comes to pass, our environment is but our looking glass to tell us what pictures we've been holding in our mind previously. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new picture, a new visualization of your goal achieved that you can keep adding to it. So I've dropped that link in the chat here in the Zoom room. So if you want to book that and you haven't yet, please go ahead. Awesome. And while you're continuing to work on your workbook, I want you to keep staying in that state of the goal achieved. So we're moving on to page 7, owning the unconscious mind. So we started more general and we're getting more specific now. So first I asked you, what fills your cup? What do you love doing? What's the legacy you want to leave? Okay, and now I want you to turn that into an actual goal. So we call it your big, hairy, audacious goal. It's your life purpose. So your life goal, now I already said mine for you, but I'll say it one more time. And I want you to have your similar. So I'm so happy and grateful now that, and then insert it. So now that we've built a multi-million-dollar global empire that's transforming the world and leaving a positive impact and a legacy of love, we teach others how to do the same. And there's peace in heaven on earth for the highest good of all. And we've built a financial wall of freedom around ourselves and our family for centuries and generations to come. I want you to have such a big, hairy, audacious goal that it pulls you forward. So most people are kept where they are and weighed down by the past and current circumstances. And what is going to pull you forward and keep you going is your vision. Your vision of what lights you up, of what's possible, of where you're going, of the impact you get to leave, the life you get to live. This is a game called life, and you can make it whatever you want it to be. Yet, if we're stuck in the past, it weighs us down. There's anxiety and depression. If we are creating from where we are in our current circumstances, we get more of the same. And if we are looking at the future from a state of seeking instead of entering the spirit of it, it makes us anxious because we don't have it yet. So we're going to decide what we want and then start acting as if we already have it. So you're going to birth a new you this week. The current version of you is going to die. Amazing, you're amazing. And it's still going to go because the new version of you is coming, and that's going to help you get your goal. And what's going to pull you forward into that is your vision. So write down, what is your BHAG, or your big, hairy, audacious goal and life purpose? I encourage you to put this on a goal card, and there is a goal card in the workbook for you. So we're almost coming to the end today, and I just want to go through a couple of very specific and important things that you need to know to help increase your awareness. So most people are making decisions from where they are, from their current and past circumstances, and they're getting more of the same. So what new decisions do you need to make in order to make this dream a reality? You need to make a decision that you've burned the boats, and it doesn't matter how many times you learn it doesn't work. You're going to keep going until you find out the way that it does. Edison is said to have found 9,999 ways a light bulb did not work, and one way that it did. Okay, so we only fail when we quit. Failure is feedback. Okay. So when we see something that's not working and you would want to call it a failure, what it's doing is actually giving you feedback on how to improve and make it better for next time. Okay. So what decisions do we need to start making from the goal achieved that are in alignment with the goal achieved? Maybe it's getting up earlier so that you can have an energy set before your day and the family and all the chaos starts going. Maybe it's instead of watching TV before you go to bed, you spend an hour with yourself and your thoughts and meditation and entering the spirit of and writing your goals and your gratitude. Maybe it means you're hanging out with current people that you wouldn't want to trade places with. Well, you become the average of the 5 people you spend your time with energetically. And in brain science, we have mirror neurons. You will even begin to mirror physically how they look. The brain and the body is super cool, by the way. It's kind of crazy. So what decisions do you need to make? Perhaps it's a new environment. Perhaps it's launching a new product. Perhaps it's putting yourself out there in PR because you've been hiding previously. But you can't help people if you don't go out there and tell them who you are and what you do and what you have to sell and offer. Okay, so what are the new decisions from the goal achieved that need to happen? And then what else do you need to believe? Okay, so pause for a second and think about that. What else do you need to believe? Do you need to believe that earning money is easy? Do you need to believe that it doesn't have to take a long time, so it could be quick and it could come from anywhere? Do you need to believe that you are a world-class leader? Do you need to believe that you can build a multi-million-dollar empire and build it around your dream life and not build your life around your business? Because old way was like, you just grind until you die. Well, what's the point of that if you don't get to enjoy the journey, right? So what are some of the new beliefs that are required, and what do you need to believe in? And what are some of the new decisions that are required? And so that we can act from the state of the goal achieved. So I'm just going to pause for a second because I know we've gone through a lot already. I just want to ask if there's any questions. Please just drop it in the chat because we're going to go through a couple more concepts that I really want to make sure that everyone has a good grasp on. So one of my favorite things to talk about, we have a conscious and an unconscious mind. Your conscious mind is the goal setter. Okay, everybody just consciously set a goal. Your unconscious mind is the goal getter. Write that down. Your conscious mind is the goal setter, and your unconscious mind is the goal getter. So if 98% of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are habitually unconscious, and your unconscious mind is the goal getter, if we do not change the beliefs and the thinking and the behavior and the actions and our attitude, everything remains the same. So before the age of 7, you were a blank slate, and the model of the world that you grew up in helped build your computer operating system. Now you have inductive and deductive reasoning. And so in your unconscious mind, we actually are taking in about 11 million bits of information per second. 11 million. And consciously, you can only digest about 124. So that means the other 1100 million go through the mind unconsciously. And they are deleted, distorted, and generalized and broken down into chunks of 5 to 7, from 11 million to 5 to 7, based off of your current programming. So that's why we can all go on a vacation, we go on a safari, and we have the exact same experience. And if I asked us all to write a journal about that experience, it would be different for each and every one of us, because the information comes in, it gets deleted, distorted, and generalized. And deleted is one of my favorite things. If you haven't seen the awareness test with the moonwalking bear on YouTube, That's some homework then. Go and check that out today. I'll share it in the Facebook group. And we'll talk about tomorrow about what got deleted. So that means you see things with your eyes and your mind deletes them and doesn't even tell you that they're there because they're not in alignment where your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your energies, your belief, and your conditioning are. Okay, so your unconscious mind is the thing that's running the show. And for most people, 80% of their thoughts are habitually, unconsciously negative. Let me say that for you one more time. If you get who you're being, and 80% of most people are most people are 80% of the time negative, then we attract negative experiences. And so this week, your job is to flip to 51% positive and get over that hump so that life can be more blissful, because it can be, and it requires a state of mind. So your unconscious mind, the goal getter. Your conscious mind, the goal setter. Your conscious mind, it's awesome. It helps you decide, I'm at a stoplight, should I turn right or left? Your unconscious mind kept you alive last night. It helped you breathe while you were sleeping. Your autonomic nervous system just kept that whole body going. Isn't that amazing? And yet often, unconsciously, we're working from a computer operating system that doesn't serve us. Okay, so we want to change it. And tomorrow we're going to give you a 4-part reframing exercise on exactly how to change your thought patterns. And of course, I love to do timeline therapy. It's one of my favorite tools. It's what my mastery mentorship is built around with my clients, where we actually access the unconscious mind and switch the beliefs so that we can get new results. Because if you don't change your beliefs, nothing changes. So we have a conscious and an unconscious mind. And this week is all about rewiring the brain for success, understanding how to own the mind so you can live it by design. So that's going to require you to begin to rewrite your programming. And the programming is amazing because you know what? It's helped get you here. And the current version of you is awesome. And we want to go somewhere else, so we need something different. Okay, so we're going to talk about psycho-cybernetics now. On day 3, we're going to go through creating a winning self-image. It's one of my favorite lessons to teach because you have a version of you in your mind of who you think you can be, how much you can earn, what you think you're possible, what relationships look like, everything. So I want you to imagine that's like a set point. So psycho-cybernetics, let's talk about an airplane. It has a cybernetic mechanism. And so when it takes off, it sets a destination. And although there may be turbulence and it's off course part of the time, it will always make micro adjustments to come back to hit that destination. So you have a destination in your unconscious mind, a self-image of who you think you are and what's possible for you, whether you can be an entrepreneur or you're going to be an employee, whether you can earn $1 million or you're going to be broke, whether women are respected or they're not, whatever this internal set point is in these beliefs, this is your own upper limit, your glass ceiling. So until we change the self-image, and everybody did their best. Your parents, everyone, well-meaning people did the best with what they have. And we love them and we forgive them and we forgive ourselves so that we can move forward with a clean slate. And we're creating an awareness now around how the transformation process works and what has you stuck. So your psycho-cybernetics, go ahead and write it down, is your own internal operating system and control mechanism that will always bring you back to get more of the same unless you change your self-image. Okay, so it's your own internal set point and mechanism that will have you do what we call secondary gain behaviors, self-sabotaging behaviors that will have you go back to get the same results over and over again. So we're going to dive deeper into cybernetics on day 3. It's one of my favorites. And then the putrefaction process we already talked about. So this is the change process. You're currently here and you want to go over here where your goal is. And you go to make the jump, but the current version of you is not the person that can get you there. So you enter, dun, 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 the transformation tornado. It's so much fun. It's a little bit chaotic. And it's because you're going to have a breakdown. to have a breakthrough, because the current version of you needs to break down and build new habits, new thoughts, new beliefs, new energy, new attitudes, new environment, surround yourself with new people and have new ideas. And then you can get to that goal. So the putrefaction process is a breakdown of the old version of you. And then you get to come out on the other side with the goal achieved. Yet most people are not willing to do what it takes to go through the transformation process. And what they try to do is go back to where they are. And this is where dis-ease sets in, because the chicken can't go back in the egg. So now you're here and all you want is to go over here. And we have depression, anxiety, resentment, and all this comes in, and we take this throughout our life. So you can't go back to where you were. You want to push through all the incredible growth opportunities. And yes, it's going to require something of you. Oh boy, is it ever. And I promise you it's worth it. It's worth every second of it. Wouldn't you rather get to that eulogy and hear, they owned it their entire life, no matter what came their way, they always came out on the other side and achieved their dreams and left people with an impression of increase? Or do you want it to be, that person struggled and had so many obstacles that kept them down. It was so sad. We never saw them reach their full potential. It's up to you. It's going to require something of you, and you get to decide. So you can fold the towel and give up at the first sign of trouble and struggle, or you can understand that that's part of the growth journey. And you are more than capable, worthy, and deserving to push through that and come out on the other side. And it's worth it. So remember, as you go through the journey, just remember it's part of the process. We're slowly breaking down so that we can break through. So now what I want you to decide on is, what is the top 3 desires you want for this year? So far we generated an idea list. We picked one of the things on the list that will make the largest result for us and something we want the most. We decided what is our big, hairy, audacious goal and what is the legacy that we're leaving. And now I'm going to ask you to make a decision on the top 3 goals that you're going to achieve for this year. Okay, so think about your big, hairy, audacious goal. And from there, work backwards and think about what you want to have achieved by the end of this year. I encourage you to pick at least one personal and one professional, and then you can choose a third one. Now, the masterclass is designed to help you own it. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to take that big, hairy, audacious goal and you're going to put it on your goal card. That's your life purpose. And then you have your top 3 desires for the year. So your homework is as such, or your tasks from today are: 1, complete the workbook. 2, watch the replays of today's session and the Friday's bonus session, 3 actions to level up your business if you haven't. Book your 15-minute vision casting call with me if you haven't done that yet, so we can dive deeper into your dreams. And then you're going to practice being an observer of your thoughts. So there's a river that flows through your mind, okay? And those full of thoughts. And you can either dive in and get involved with them, or you could be an observer and choose to only be involved with the thoughts that make you feel good. So anytime you have a negative thought, you're going to practice for the next 24 hours to reach for a better feeling thought. So you're going to go to something you can be grateful for. Okay, so we are observing our thoughts. Are they positive or are they negative? If they are negative and they're not making us feel good, we're going to reach for a better feeling thought. The first step to awareness is really starting to listen to what that conditioning is telling you. So we reach for that better feeling thought and we come back into an attitude of gratitude. We observe what we currently expect and we start to expect magic and miracles. So just for today, I want you to expect magic and miracles, expect everything to work out for you, and ask yourself, what's the best that could happen? And what I want you to do is I want you to go live. So we have the Own It community on Facebook and our Facebook group. And I'd love for you all to go live in the group and introduce yourself. So you can share who you are and what do you do, share your website, and I want you to share what your goals are. So you can choose what you want to share with us. If it's your top 3 desires for the year, if it's the one thing you want that's going to make the biggest difference, or if it's your big, hairy, audacious goal. Or if it's just what you want to manifest, some of your intentions that you set for this week. So I'd love for you to share a little bit more about what you're creating. So this is going to be you making a declaration. So you're going to go live in the Own It community and you're going to declare your goal and what you're achieving and manifesting. So just a reminder, we are back live again at 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday this week. And then back again on Sunday with the bonus recap session. So I want to invite you all to come back and join us again tomorrow. Tomorrow we are giving away a business review call to the person who's referred the most, participated, and shared, and we'll go into a draw and we'll have that for you guys tomorrow. And I just want to thank you for your time and your energy and for spending it with us. I know that time is one thing that you don't get back. So thank you so much for spending it with us and spending it to bet on you. It's time to work smarter instead of harder. So we have to slow down a little bit to do some inner work so we can see the results change on the outside. And this is not taught in schools. This masterclass can change your life if you allow it to. So have fun. We're all going to be in a state of possibility and be in a state of gratitude. And just imagine like I just sprinkled some magical fairy dust on everybody. And you're just going to go into your day. And no matter what happens, that's good. No matter what happens, you expect the best. No matter what happens, you keep your mind in possibility and positivity. And no matter what happens, you harvest the good and focus on an energy of gratitude and the state of the goal achieved. So let's go forth and have fun. May you expect magic and miracles. Stay happy, healthy, wealthy, and remember what's the best that can happen. And we'll see you back. Oh, and of course, Mom, I almost forgot, study club. 4:30 to 5 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Wednesday this week, we have study club. So it's not casted, it's not recorded, it's a closed door Zoom session. For us, you get to bring your workbook and I get to help you fill it out. And I can answer any of your questions. So 4:30 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you can come back, same Zoom link, same bat channel, and come fill out your workbook with me. So thank you guys. Have an incredible and blissful day, and we'll see you on the inside. Thank you.